Let's talk about the basic four function operations. So you probably can imagine what the four are: sum or addition, difference or subtraction, product or multiplication, and then quotient or division. So let's imagine you had two functions, f of x and g of x. What's it going to mean to have f plus g of x? Well, quite simply, you take your one input, you put it into both functions, you get two different outputs, and you put them together. It's as if you have two people working two jobs for the same amount of time. You put the time into both, you get the income out of both, you put the income together. So you get out f of x, that's the output from the first, plus the output from the second. It's that simple. If you have f minus g of x, now keep in mind x is just a placeholder. If you have a number there, the number goes in as inputs for f and g. You get f of x minus g of x. This output minus that output. F times g, sometimes there's a little dot there to denote this, is simply the first output, f of x, times the output g of x. That's an output, that's an output, you can multiply the two. Finally, f over g of x equals f of x over g of x when g of x is not equal to 0. You have the same requirement all the way through, right? You can divide two numbers as long as the denominator is not equal to 0. Okay, so these are the rules. How do they play out with an example like this? F of x equals 3x plus 2, g of x equals negative 4x plus x squared. Well, you could actually write in this piece as an intermediate step. I'm just going to write in what the output for f of x is, plus the output for g of x. Notice that I dropped those parentheses. That would be perfectly appropriate by associativity. G plus f of 1. Here, just for emphasis, I'll write in g of 1 plus f of 1. That's what we need. This is going to be the input for both functions. So g of 1, well, that's negative 4 plus 1. So that's negative 3. Plus f of 1, that's 5. So the answer is 2. What about f minus g of t? So just for emphasis, that's f of t minus g of t, right? So f of t, remember t is the input, so the output is going to be 3t plus 2 minus 4t plus t squared. So it's wrong if there are x's here because the input is no longer x. It's also wrong here if you don't have the parentheses, right? Because, whoops, and it's wrong if you don't actually copy that negative sign there. Because subtracting g of t means you have to subtract all of g of t, both terms. Okay, f of 0 times g of 0 is what this means. F of 0 is 2. G of 0 is 0, so we get out 0. F over g of x is f of x over g of x. So that's 3x plus 2 divided by the entire quantity, negative 4x plus x squared. There you have it.